What's up? It's me, D.W.C, and this is going to be another one of my MLB 2016 season prediction videos. Today we have the NL Central. As always, starting off in reverse order with the Cincinnati Reds. They finished last season at 64-98, 36 games back of first place, with Joey Votto being the impact player in that lineup, followed by Brandon Phillips, Zach Cozart, who has pop at shortstop, Billy Hamilton, who has all the speed to steal all the bases and give them more opportunities to score runs, Jay Bruce, and Devin Mesoraco, who will be looking to return this year and have a healthy, strong year. However, the rotation is pretty weak, with Homer Bailey being their best pitcher, and he's out until May with Tommy John surgery, DeSclafani, Alfredo Simon, Iglesias, who's a young pitcher with promise, and then Finnegan. So that rotation is not looking too deep to start the season. They do have a decent bullpen with J.J. Hoover, Jumbo Diaz, Tony Cingrani, and Lorenzen, as well as the rest of the pitchers out in the bullpen. The Reds didn't do that much this offseason. They did trade away Chapman with his domestic abuse situation, and holding on to him past the All-Star break made it more difficult to trade him away already. But add in that domestic abuse, and that made it pretty hard to deal with and get a trade for him. But they did get back 2 young prospects for Chapman, so that's a plus for them. On now to the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers finished 4th place last year at 68-94, just ahead of the Reds, 32 games back of first place. The Brewers lineup is not the worst, but it's definitely not the best by any means. They got Ryan Braun, Aaron Hill, Lou Croy, and Chris Carter in there as the main guys in that lineup. Then the rotation is below average, but it's not awful, with Willie Peralta, Nelson, Garza, and Taylor Youngman. They have a decent bullpen with Will Smith, who's injured, Jeremy Jeffress, Blazik, Niebel, and Thornburg. Notable additions for the Brewers: they brought in Aaron Hill with that trade with Arizona with Segura, which is interesting for a rebuilding team to give away a younger player for an older veteran. They also brought in Chris Carter, who's a big power hitter who strikes out a lot, but puts up a lot of home run numbers and can give them a good amount of RBI this season, as well as Jonathan Villar, who's a good fielder at that shortstop position. This was a very strong division last year, as you can tell from the 3rd place finishing Cubs, who finished last season at 97-65, 3 games back of first place. The Cubs were pretty active in this offseason, making some good moves, but we'll start out with their lineup. Their lineup is strong, with Anthony Rizzo being the big guy in that lineup, followed by Chris Bryant, Jason Hayward, Ben Zobrist, Dexter Fowler, and Kyle Schwarber. The Cubs also have a really good rotation, especially their top 3, with Arrieta, Lester, and Lackey, and then followed by Hamill and Hendricks. Their bullpen is okay, with Rondon, Wood, Strope, Cahill, and Grimm in there. Notable additions for the Cubs: they brought in Jason Hayward, which is a really good signing for them to shore up their right field position and also get them away from the rival Cardinals, as well as bringing in Zobrist. This one's more of a negative. Trading away Starlin Castro. Trading him away is fine, but I feel like they undervalued him in the trade. They also brought in John Lackey from the Cardinals. Again, taking another player away from a team in your division is always going to be helpful. Re-signing Dexter Fowler after he went into free agency, and also bringing in Warren for the bullpen. Up next, we have the 2nd place finishing Pittsburgh Pirates, who finished the season at 98-64, 2 games back first place. Winning 98 games and not finishing first is crazy. But let's get into their lineup. Their lineup is pretty strong, with Andrew McCutchen being the superstar in that lineup. Amazing player, good every single year. Followed by Starling Marte, who's actually in front of him, but skill-wise. Kong, who looks to be injured right now, but he had a strong year last year in his first season and will look to do that again. Jordy Mercer and Josh Harrison. The Pirates have a good rotation at the top of the rotation. Then after that, it gets kind of iffy. They have Garrett Cole, Francisco Liriano, John Neese, who came over from the Mets, Locke, and Vogelsong. They have a good bullpen, with Melanson closing out games for them. followed by Tony Watson, Hughes, Caminero, and new addition Neftali Feliz. Notable additions for the Pirates: they brought in John Neese and Ryan Vogelsang for the back end of that rotation. They brought in Neftali Feliz for their bullpen. They also added David Freese and John Jaso. And we finish off with the first place St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals perform well every year. They ended last season with 100 wins and 62 losses, which is an amazing year. The Cardinals lineup, they have Matt Carpenter, who had a great year last year with a breakout season. He's always performed well, but last year was a stellar year, and he proved that he can perform at an all-star level. As well as Yadier Molina, who looked to have a better season at the plate this year. Matt Holliday, Brandon Moss, and Colton Wong. Another little note on the Cardinals is that Peralta is out for 2 to 3 months. That's going to be rough for them to start the season, but I'm sure they'll manage to get over it with the guys they have there and probably perform fairly well. They have a pretty solid rotation with Adam Wainwright leading the way, who'll be looking to return to his all-star form. He's followed by Garcia, Michael Wacha, new addition Mike Leake, and Carlos Martinez. Lance Lynn would be in there, but he's out for the season with Tommy John surgery. The Cardinals have a good bullpen with Trevor Rosenthal closing out their games still. New addition Sung Hwan Oh coming in for his first season in the MLB. Brandon Moss, Jed Jerko, and Mike Leake. So my overall predictions for the NL Central is that the top 3 teams are still going to be really strong this year. I feel like Pittsburgh is going to have a few less wins, but other than that, the top 3 are still going to be very strong. So I'm going to have the Cubs actually winning the division with probably around the same amount of wins as they did last year, 97, maybe even up to 99 or 100 wins if they play really well. Then the Cardinals in second with 96, 95 wins. And the Pirates in third looking to get a wild card with around 90 wins. 90 wins definitely should get you a wild card. Even 88 wins should probably get you a wild card in most situations. So that's the top 3 looking really strong again this year. Then you got the Brewers looking questionable. They're going to finish 4th, in my opinion, ahead of the Reds, since the Reds' rotation is looking really bad to start, and the Brewers is looking a little bit better. I'll give them the advantage there and have them finishing with around 90 losses, and then the Reds in 5th place with probably 95 losses. With that rotation looking the way it is, it's not looking too great for them. But you never know, they might overperform and pitch really well and do better than that. It's baseball. Baseball's unpredictable. Anyway, that's my predictions for the NL Central. I'll see you next time.